Hi students, welcome to another video. In this video we learn about the behavior school of management, the practices of the management as suggested by the contributors to the classical approach was built on the thoughts and experience of the engineers and professional managers. They proposed that with efficiently designed job, the right kind of the incentives and the proper use of the managerial functions, productivity would increase. It is not surprising that this formal impersonal approach to management would meet with some resistance for the workers. This resistance, along with other challenges to classical approach, gave rise to the development of the behavioral school of management. Two branches contributed to the behavioral school: the human relationship movement and the development of organizational behavior. These approaches were concerned with the better understanding of how psychological process interacted with all the activities and job in the organizations, whereas the classical approach focused on the jobs of worker. The behavioral approach was concerned with the people in these jobs. Several industrial individuals made significant contribution to this approach of mechanism. The human relationship movement. Elton Mayo, a group of the Harvard researchers headed by the Elton Mayo, conducted a landmark study of the human behavior in the Hawthorne plant. Mayo and his associates were called in by Western Electric after an experiment carried out by the company engineers between the 1924 to the 1927, within 3 years. And within this work area, lighting produced confusing results. The engineers, true to scientific management's traditions of seeking answers to industrial problems through the studying two groups of the workers to determine the effects, if any, of different level of lighting on the worker performance. In one group, the level illumination was changed, while the other experienced no change in their initial test, and the engineers found that the productivity improved in the test group when the lighting conditions increased. But the concerned engineers was that productivity also increased in the test groups when illumination was decreased. To add to the confusion, the control group productivity kept increase even though this group experienced no change in work area illumination. Mayo's subsequent entry into the lighting experiment formally unshared in the behavioral approach of management. Mayo conducted a series of the experiments over the next few years to further investigation of that process. The Western Electric situation, he conducted research in 4 distinct phases. First phase explained that the experiment to determine the effects on worker productivity of the changes in the illumination process. Second, experiment to determine effect on worker productivity of other work related factors. These factors included the salary increase, introducing the varying lengths of the rest periods and coffee breaks, shortened work days, work weeks, and holidays, and other changes in the working mechanism and conditions providing to the employees. Third phase is that an extensive employee interview program to determine worker attitude. So in order to find out the attitude of the worker employees, they run an interview program, an analysis of various social factors at work, the bank writing, wearing observation, and the room experiment. Mayo further concluded that the social environment of the work, particularly the effect of an informal work group had a great influence on productivity. From these conclusions, the researchers suggested that the management must recognize the importance of the workers' needs for recognition and social satisfactions. Management should make an effort to turn the informal group into a positive, productive force by the providing workers with a new sense of dignity and the well-being. Mayo termed this concept of the social man, including individuals are motivated by the social needs and good on the job relationships and respond better to the workers' pressures than the management control activities. What was needed was a totally newly approach to human in the workplace, a view that people are motivated to work not solely by economic concern but by the complex needs of the daily wages. The Hawthorne studies had a significant impact on the management thoughts. The teaching and the practices of the classical school were being seriously questioned, especially the dehumanizing nature of the scientific management. As a result of this and the other studies, both participants and scholars began to take the second look at the importance of the human resources in the organizations. Training programs were begun to each supervisor to better understand how people and groups behave in the working platform and the situations. Improved the selection, placement and incentive system evolved. In the workplace, the workers rather than the job became the focal point of the managerial activities. The impact on the scholarly research is felt even today with the behavior science emphasis in the management theory.